right, I get to do Devo this morning, and I wanted to talk about evangelism. Spreading the good news. Telling your story and why it's so important. And this week is a great week to tell your story because it's Holy Week, and people are so open and eager to hear what God's doing in your life. And one thing I noticed when I read the Bible is like when Jesus did his miracles, he always had a crowd of people around to witness and to talk about what they saw and what he did. And in John 9, the story starts with a blind man. Ooh, still on? Okay. The story talks about a blind man who's standing by the gate, and the disciples ask, is he blind because of the sins that he committed? And Jesus says, no, not because of his sins and not because of his parents' sins. This is so God can display his wonderful power through him, to display, his mighty power through him. And that man was healed, and everybody saw that miracle, and everybody was talking about it. Okay? Another one is Lazarus. Lazarus was dead for 4 days. And he was brought back to life at his funeral with all of his closest friends and family there to witness what God did. And everybody talked about it, and everybody heard about it because of the good things that Jesus did. Hold on. And then there's another one. Sometimes God talks to individuals and does miracles with just individuals. And one person that I want to talk about is the woman at the well. She was a Samaritan, and Jewish people and Samaritans did not get along, so there was one thing. And then another thing is she was living with another man and not with her husband. So she was an adulterer. And then she was at the well all by herself, so she was also an outcast. Because women didn't go to the well by themselves, they always went with their friends to stay safe. And so while she was there, she had an encounter with Jesus, and he told her that he was the Messiah. And once he told her that, she left the water at the well and ran to tell the whole town. I don't know if you guys have seen The Chosen, but they do that part on the series, and it is a beautiful story, and it's very touching. But out of her going and telling everyone, the next chapter in the Bible says many Samaritans were saved. And they believed. It doesn't say all of them, but it says many. And when we share our testimonies, I think that's a good reminder. We're not going to save everyone, but we're going to save many. Isn't that encouraging? And so I just want to encourage you guys on this Sunday morning to tell your stories. Share what God has done in your life. Because it's by our powerful testimonies that people's lives are changed. And nobody can tell your story better than you, right? And nobody can debate with you what happened in your story because it's your real life story, and it's what happened with you. And looking into our Bible, I just want to tell you guys, Jesus' last words before he ascended back to heaven were, spread the good news and make disciples. And we all want to listen to Jesus, right? His final words to us. He was like, I better tell you guys this because I'm going to go, and I want you to remember. Tell everyone what you have seen so that they can hear. And I know that sharing your story might be uncomfortable for some of us, and that is totally fine. I just want to give you some easy tips on how to do it. This week is Holy Week, so you can always invite people to church and let Pastor Greg and Starlene tell them how wonderful God is. They're very captivating. Another one is write down your story so that you can read what God has done, and then it's easier to tell it. And sometimes we forget little details, but we're like, wow, God did that. Right. And another one is just loving people. Because when we shine Jesus' love, that's what changes people. Yep. So share your stories today as people come through these doors.